Let's talk about the border.
Okay.
Let's talk about deportations. Border crossings are at their lowest level ever recorded. Is the border
Is that good?
Is the border now secure?
Yeah, it's really secure.
It's absolutely
Isn't that good?
secure.
When you say that, doesn't that just sound good? After being abused for years by an incompetent president that allowed people to pour through an open border, criminals from all over the world, murderers and insane people from mental institutions and insane asylums. Isn't it a beautiful thing when you say it's the most secure it's ever been in the history of our country? Isn't that a nice statement?
Well, I gotta admit, it does have a nice ring to it. Let me think. Psychopaths roaming free. No psychopaths roaming free. Hold on, we do got a lot of psychopaths roaming free already. Okay, so no undocumented psychopaths roaming free. Yeah, okay. That's a little less psychopaths. I'd take less psychopaths. Seems like she kind of got sweet on Trump. I don't know what's going on here. Trump start growing on her or something?
Hats that say Trump 2028.
Yeah.
Are you serious? The Trump organization is selling hats that say Trump 2028.
Yeah.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr. President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody, ideally a great Republican, to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something really spectacular.
The Constitution does prohibit it. Some of your allies are pretty serious about this, though, Mr. President. I've spoken to them. They say they are coming up with potential ways.
Well,
obviously, the biggest one would be a constitutional amendment.
That's because they like the job I'm doing, and it's a compliment.
Has anyone in an official capacity presented you with, sir, here are some ideas by which you could actually get a constitutional amendment?
Well, in a capacity of being a big supporter, many people have said different things, but I'm not looking at that.
You have built a political movement that has transformed the Republican Party. It's transformed the country, quite frankly.
The political movement in history, MAGA. Make America great again.
When you look to the future, Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here. No, I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. You know, it's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And, you know, Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons. You know, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down. But Biden is really, he's the worst thing to happen to old people.
I know that you are only 100 days in, but as we sit here today, who do you see as your successor, Mr. President?
Well, it's far too early to say that, but I do have a vice president, and typically it would be, and JD's doing a fantastic job.
He would be at the top of the list?
It could very well be. I don't want to get involved in that. I think he's a fantastic, brilliant guy. Marco is great. There's a lot of them that are great. I also see tremendous unity. But certainly you would say that somebody's the VP. If that person is outstanding, I guess that person would have an advantage. But I think the other people would all stay in unbelievably high positions. But, it could be that he'd be challenged by somebody. We have a lot of good people in this party.
Ow! Yeah, I got to agree with him about Crockett. No, not that she's dumb. She's smart. I think he's wrong about her being dumb. I don't think she is. I think she's playing a role. This whole sister girl thing where she, I think she's a lot smarter than she wants to be perceived.
Implication being those people think he has made mistakes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. People tried to talk about the mental acuity of Joe Biden. And as someone who was able to interact with him, I never questioned his mental acuity. But come on now. Come on. Like, you are crashing the economy. We are talking about record.
This is my opinion. And you got to be smart to do the acting job she's been doing, where she acts like she's from a poor working class family. Below working class, like struggling, it's bogus. But I also noticed he didn't even mention Kamala. Ow! What's worse than being roasted by the president and doing an interview like this? Not being roasted by the president doing an interview like this. I mean, Kamala Harris's name didn't even come up. She's inconsequential. And you better believe, she was sitting by the TV like, what he's going to say about me. Oh, I'm sure she was pissed off. And Miss Crockett is insulted as she'll pretend to be or whatever she'll say, whatever. You're getting acknowledged, which could just be a psychological trigger because that's the guy who wants to play, wants to see out there. But guys, I would say the hardest punch came from Biden. Jesus Christ, Johnson. You know what he said about Joe Biden? He said, Joe Biden is the worst thing to happen to old people. And you know what? He's right. Imagine you working at you're just working a job. And you're around Biden's age. Biden became a punching bag. His name itself. He's our Joe Biden. Oh, he's doing the Biden. He's buffering. Look at Biden. Yeah, and like everybody around his age now has to show people that they're not Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of Biden. And that's because of the Democratic Party. And I also say it's because of the media who didn't want to say Joe Biden was buffering. Yeah. But that was a cold takedown, Johnson. Cold takedown. Brutal. That was brutal. I don't even know if that, I thought that Biden would have some type of, security. You know what I'm saying? Like call security or something, clean up on aisle 3, something to that extent after that takedown by Donald Trump. It's not good. And it was, he said that Bernie still had it. Problem is, when he had it, nobody wanted it. Well, the Democrats didn't want it. They still don't want it. They'll take the L. They'll gladly. I think Democrats enjoy being out of power as long as they can raise money. They have to appear to be viable. That's the problem they have. They're not upset that they're out of power. Yeah, it's possibly they could have won with someone else other than Kamala. It's possible they could have ran an actual election, a primary, got a stronger candidate. It'd be harder. It would be hard for them not to get a stronger candidate than Kamala, but they chose not to. They chose not to. They chose to stick with a loser, and then they lost. And that's decision. They chose that. Sort of like not drafting Shadir. Shadir Sanders didn't get picked up. They chose not to draft. Right? They chose to let him sit for 5 rounds. It wasn't an accident. They didn't forget he was over there. Democrats knew they had Kamala. They knew what they had. So it is what it is. As far as who's up and coming, I don't know. Open field. Open field, but in order for either one of those guys, Trump says the MAGA movement will continue. Yeah, well, It's like, Trump won the last 3 primaries in his party. Has there ever been a Democratic nominee in the last, because I think like maybe FDR did, but who has been a consistent primary winner in the Democratic Party? Because see, unlike the Democrats, Republicans actually held primaries. So it's just Trump's been the leader of the party. Who's the true leader of the Democratic Party? You can't name a single person since Obama left. Since 2016, I don't think you can nail it down. You don't know who's leading. So that's part of the problem with their party. And the fact that they use black people as tokens and as, cheap pieces on the chessboard. Was it the Rooks? That's what we are. Using us to help their other constituencies get leverage and get policies and to benefit them while we sit there nicely helpful, like old hound dog. The black hound dog sitting at the knees of the Democratic Party, hoping that some table scraps fall. Meanwhile, Al Sharpton, Jim Clyburn, Roland Martin, roll around in cash. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw all that out there, right? I don't know. Yep, let me know what you think about this segment of Donald Trump. He summed up the Democrats pretty well. But like I said, and I'll stand on it, I am with this, the Democratic Party is happy to lose. They'd rather lose than win with somebody who makes them reform their shitty ways. If you ain't going to get money out of politics, you're going to have a hard time with the Democrats anyway, because they're going to fold to the money every day. 6 days a week, twice on Sundays. That's what the Democrats do. I'm not saying the Republicans don't do it, but I'm saying people are tired of the Democrats and they're bogus. They don't keep their promises. Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.